Hey guys, this is Jared with Ballard Branding. I'd like to take a few minutes of your time just to kind of visit with you a little bit about branding, what it is, why it's so important, and what you need to do to be able to really focus in on creating your brand or taking your current brand to the next levels. A lot of people kind of misunderstand that a logo is a brand. And though a logo is really cool and it kind of embodies a little bit of your company's personality, a logo is not a brand. The brand is the whole makeup of your company. It's the personality, it's the look and feel, it's how your employees answer phone calls, it's how they dress, how your emails look, how your newsletters look, how you look on social media, the words that you use, and just kind of the whole feel, the color arrangement. It's very important to really focus on your brand as a whole and not just a little aspect of, oh, it's a logo and that's it. Whether you believe it or not, people already have an understanding of you as a company, and what they have in their mind is actually your brand. Whether you intended them to have that or not, they are creating in their minds what they think of your company, how much money they're going to spend, or whether they're going to stick around and buy anything. So it's very vital that you take a look at your brand as a whole. What you need to do is kind of look through your brand. You need to really understand who you're going to be targeting and the solution that your product offering or your service offering is providing to your audience. And a lot of people go into the mistake of saying that their product or their service is so broad, it's going to help so many people, that they don't really target in on a particular audience. Now, it can. That's true. Your brand can help a lot of people, but when you begin talking to them, different audiences, you need to get very particular on how you discuss your product, your service offerings to them, and how it will help in their niche. And you'll have quite a few different audiences and different ways of speaking to those audiences. But you need to find that out, and you need to find the value proposition that you have, or that your product or your service offerings has for them. And then you need to very articulately explain why you're in business. A lot of people need to know your mission. You shouldn't have to come up to people and say, this is my mission to do so and so. But they should be able to feel that in the content they read, the imagery that you use to inspire them. They should feel what your mission is and how you're going to do it. And the most important thing is you need to understand that your brand has a personality. It connects with people. It will talk to them. It will resonate with them. So what you need to do is you need to be aware of your brand's personality. Is it funny? Is it lighthearted? Is it serious? Is it powerful? Is it strong? And really make sure that flows through all of your material, all of your advertising, all of your marketing materials, your content, how it's read. It should be felt the same way over and over and over again as they connect. And you know, it's the same way with people. You connect with people who have integrity, who are honest, who every time that you interact with them, you're not surprised by the interaction. You know what to expect, and you can have a relationship with them because they're the same. They act the same. They behave the same. Those people you kind of tend to stay away from, who kind of has a changing personality. And you don't want a schizophrenic brand where at one time a potential customer interacts with your brand, it acts this way, and another time it acts a completely different way. It doesn't provide a stimulus for connection. People don't want to connect when they're unsure of what that brand is going to react like, whether it be on social, whether it be in print, whether it be on billboards or the website. It needs to feel and act the same. You get so many times to interact with people, and if you are interacting different ways with people in different channels that are extremely awkward, they won't be able to feel comfortable with you. Therefore, they won't even recognize that it is you, and that touch that you're creating with them is not going to connect or add a foundation for them to get to know your brand. So you need to really look at that and understand that. And another big thing is, I'm sure that you've looked through your SWOT analysis, understanding your strength and your weaknesses, your opportunities and the threats that are there. As you work with your brand and cause it to have a similar voice all the way through, you need to make sure that you're talking about those things, that you're very aware of your strengths and your weaknesses. Understanding your weaknesses is just as important as understanding your strengths. Understanding your opportunities are just as important as understanding your threats. If you're just looking at your success and your opportunities, there's a chance that your weaknesses and threats might sneak up and bite you on the backside. And you don't want to do that in your brand. And when those things happen, you don't want to overreact in such a way that it diminishes people's view of your brand. So think about that and look through that. Again, look through your logo. Make sure it's interesting, that the color, the type is all consistent across all the mediums that are out there. And again, you've got to be consistent, but understand you need to be flexible as well. Like I said, you have a large audience, and sometimes if you target in on certain segments of that large audience, you need to be flexible to be able to change up some of the things or how you say things. Being very true or consistent to your brand, but still being flexible to be able to talk to multiple people. That's a huge thing. Too many brands talk the exact same way to people. And that's what I'm not talking about being consistent that way, where everything is said the exact same way every single time. No, you have to adjust for the audience that you're talking to, but your mission and your personality should be consistent. But you can change how you say things or how you present things so they connect to the audience. And that's just good connection. And you want to make sure that you're always having good connection, that all people can, or at least your audience can connect with you and understand that you are on their side. You are trying to help. You understand them. You understand them as a mother, or you understand them as someone who is fit. You understand them as a worker. You've just got to talk directly to them and their needs. Once you start talking to them without putting in your needs to them or helping them understand your needs, you kind of miss the boat on making that strong connection. And that helps you connect emotionally. Emotion branding is one of the strongest things out there. We're dealing in a world right now where people aren't being loyal necessarily to brands. They're going after what they like. And if you're not in that and you're not participating with them as a friend, as a confidant, you're missing again that connection that will last for a long time. And that goes across all your advertising, your social media, and everything like that. Again, going back to strengths and weaknesses, you need to understand those so you can avoid certain situations. You've got to avoid giving your customers mixed communication. And whatever you say, you got to stand behind that. You got to stand behind that. So don't just flippantly go out there and make a promise, but really understand what are the promises I'm going to make to my audiences or my customers, and how am I going to support that? How am I going to stand behind that? If there is a problem that arises, how am I going to respond? Your biggest thing is you don't want to copy your competitors. See what they're doing, see what's working for them, but don't just copy them. People are very, very aware of people who copy or people who are fake. So you want to stay clear of those. And again, I just keep coming back. Consistency is what makes a brand. So make sure what you have on your internet is the same promises, the same feel, the same mission that you have on your print. When people call in to talk to your sales force or your customer support, make sure that they're speaking the same way. Make sure that they're responding the same way that is constantly in line with your mission. And that will help you maintain your brand's identity all the way through. One of the biggest things that you also need to do is make sure that you're aware of what's going on around you on the internet. Set up alerts, set up Google alerts or something on your name so that when your name comes up in searches or in conversations online, that you can go out there and respond as a person, as a brand, I should say, in a pleasant way. If there are things being said about you that are negative, you want to be a part of that conversation. You want to be a part and try to help that person solve that conversation and do it in a way that can be seen and in a way that would make other people who see that conversation say, wow, what integrity that brand has. Look how they were able to resolve this person's concern, and then thank those people who are praising you and praise them back. This is all just common sense as you begin building up your brand. Understand your brand is taking on a personality, and it's up to you to help it grow and progress. Because once it grows, it will get so big that, in a sense, it kind of gets a mind of its own. And as long as you've structured it in such a way, when it grows, it will grow properly. As long as you nurture it and nourish it, it will grow properly. But as soon as you abandon that, you forget that all these things are working together to support the personality of your company or your brand across all platforms, that's when you'll see success. But these are just a few things that I'm thinking of. I wanted to share it out with you. Come back. Let us know if we can help. Again, I'm Jared Ballard with Ballard Branding. Take care.